Welcome to The Love Affair, a relationship podcast. Listen in as we discuss all things love and relationships starting now. Hey everyone, welcome back to The Love Affair, a relationship podcast. I'm your host, Robin, also known as Robin the Renaissance.
And I'm her husband and co-host, Jimmy K.
And as you can see, we're in Chiefs Kingdom mode.
Boom.
Our boys in the red and gold are heading into Super Bowl weekend.
Super Bowl 57.
Super Bowl 57, and we are ready. And you know what? One thing about it, it's a win-win for me because Philly made me, but KC raised me. So it's a win-win. It's a win-win.
It's Chief Kingdom. Man. Ain't no win-win.
Listen,
right? No. Ain't no Eagles. No, we don't want the Eagles at all.
Hang on.
I get it. I get what you're saying. Go ahead.
I'm just going to say, as a show of solidarity with the home team and the born team and the home team, I am wearing my Philadelphia Eagles socks.
What?
So, yeah. Huh. I put them on and, yep.
This is a conflict of interest. Okay. All right.
Win-win. Welcome back, guys. It is season 2, episode 1.
Yes.
This episode is titled New Year, Who Dis?
New Year, who dis?
Who dis?
Mm-hmm.
You know, all that New Year, what is it called? New Year, New You, True Year, all these things about the new year. Okay. It's been a year. No, it hasn't. It's only been a month.
I guess it feels long for some people.
Yeah, January does feel long, but I'm okay with it, you know?
I'm a little different. February always seemed a little longer for me.
It is.
I don't know why. I think it's because, got the NFL playoffs and all that going on, so that kind of helps the time go along. But yeah, February is always dragging for me because I'm getting in spring mode and all that stuff. So February just goes a little long. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, as you guys noticed, we took the entire month of January off. We enjoyed easing into the new year. We wanted to just give ourselves a moment to take a deep breath, relax, relate, release, and figure out our next steps for the year.
And I'm not mad about it.
No? So we're going to kick it off with our segment, What's Good, What's Great, What's Been Going On. So we're going to talk a little bit about what we were doing during our hiatus. And at some point we'll, talk about our plans for season 2 of the podcast because, yeah.
We're here.
We're back.
We're back.
Okay.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, we are really. Babe, what are you up to? What's been good in your life?
You already know. We already done started talking about it.
Yeah.
Chiefs in the Super Bowl. That was a draining game to watch. It was draining, but because they won, it made it all worth it. To go through all that ups and downs and stress of the game, so tense, you know what I mean? Oh my goodness.
3 seconds left on that clock in the fourth quarter. Mercy.
Yeah. So I've been kind of diving into all the post game and pre-game, or I guess pre-game Super Bowl talk and all that stuff. So I'm just trying to take it all in and enjoy it. So I'm pretty happy. That's what's going on. That's the big thing that's going on with me.
Mm-hmm. So, that is definitely good news, great news. I love that.
Yeah.
During our month of January, like I said, we eased into it. And we did Vision Week.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And what Vision Week for us is, we just took a week to spend some time with ourselves individually to come up with our goals for the year. We put together our own vision board, and then we met and we shared that with each other. And then we also shared ways that we can hold each other accountable and how to support each other throughout, the year with those goals, and also to give us some insight on where we're aligned and where we're not. And I'm really, glad we got a chance to do that. We'll probably dive into a little bit more about our Vision Week activities, and got a chance to bring in the new year with some friends, and then,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so that was cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been an easy breezy January. I got to be honest with you, intentionally. So
I think it's the best way to do it because I don't know if you want to get into it now, but
yeah, let's get into it.
I remember previous years, maybe about 10 years ago, the holidays and going into New Year's, and then a couple weeks after New Year's was very, very hectic, very busy. You know what I mean? And we really didn't have a lot of time for ourselves because we're still working, coming off the holidays where, it was kind of like a boom, 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 boom. And we feel like we didn't really get a reprieve until probably March, right?
March, yeah.
So yeah, I've going into this easy like we did. Hey, fine by me.
Yeah.
We do this all the time. I'm all about ease.
Yeah,
That's me.
Yes, and that's exactly what I said for New Year's Eve. Usually, I am trying to meditate and journal and plan and prep and do. Just busy, busy, busy doing, right? Trying to gear up for the new year. And New Year's Eve would always have, a lot of hoopla around it. And then, January 1st is here, and that's when everything is supposed to reset and you just hit the ground running. And I mean, I was running on fumes by that point, and it wore me out. If I'm completely honest, I think for you started to have some kind of angst around New Year activities in October.
In October, yeah.
And for me, I was like...
You didn't want to think about it. You was like, you out of sight, out of mind.
I couldn't think about it that soon. But by the time I started thinking about it, it was like, I can't believe this is my life. I don't feel like it's my life right now. It didn't start to feel like the year started over, like you said, until March.
Right.
We were involved in a church at that time. We were very involved with a lot of the activities. And, the holidays in and of itself, we talked about that in the last episode, lots of demands, right? But going into New Year's Eve, there's the New Year's Eve services, and then you have all this stuff going on around New Year's. And then at the beginning of the year, the church would host a prayer, consecration fast, revival type thing. And that would really hijack the first 3 weeks of the year for us.
Yeah.
Because if you're working, you still got work stuff. If you spent the holidays traveling or entertaining or any of that stuff, you still haven't come down off of that high. You just keep moving forward into more activities.
Yeah.
And it was something going on every single day.
Every night.
And every single night.
For 14 straight days.
14 straight days. And then there was like another week after that to do some other stuff. And then we were involved in a marriage ministry that we were also planning and prepping for, that again took us through February. So there were a lot of times when we just really didn't.
Yeah.
There was no ease, there was no grace. But this year I said ease. I'm not going to go into the holiday or into the new year frazzled, trying to figure out the whole year in less than a week. And I'm gonna let it happen organically.
Right. And I'm happy about it, because if you want, I explain how that went. It was like, talking about the first 2 weeks of consecration or whatever. Get up, you have to work. Of course, everybody worked their 8-10 hours. You get off work, head to the church for services while fasting. I don't have anything against fasting. I mean, it's good. Fasting is good, for spiritually and physically.
Health-wise, yeah.
But we'll do that, like I said, go to work your 8 to 10 hours, get off work, go straight to church, and you're there for 2.5, 3 hours.
3 to 4.
Sometimes it was that long. And then we will, go home, eat a little. Well, if we're fasting, we wasn't eating, but you go home, you go to sleep, and you wake up and do it all over again for 14 straight days. That was a lot.
Yeah.
That was a lot. We did it. We made it through it, but I don't know. It's not my choice. to do it that way, but
No, it's not. And I know some people really love that. And I think it probably works out better for people depending on what their preferences are,
yeah.
but also what their lifestyle can afford. But I got to be honest with you. I was thinking about that before, and I said that was not my preferred way
Right.
of entering the new year. That's not even my preferred spiritual practice. That that you do these intensive moments and things, collectively and whatnot. I think it has its place,
Yeah.
but that never worked for me, And so it was a lot of internal dissonance too, because I'm like, if I'm going to like fast and consecrate, I really don't want anybody around me. I don't want anybody around me. I don't want to hear a lot of talking.
That was
I don't
another
want
thing.
to. I don't
Yeah.
want a lot of noise. I don't really enjoy like prayer services when people are in the mic and they are just rattling off stuff because I'm actually kind of like, could you not?
Yeah. Yeah.
Could you kind of be quiet? And I would love getting there a little bit earlier when they just play soft music. But as soon as people get in that mic and they are yelling and there's emotions and stuff, and I'm kind of like, okay, I know what this is, but I also don't enjoy this.
Yeah.
So we've tailored a lot of things,
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's good.
Yeah. Right. Right.
You want to talk about Vision Week?
Sure. Let's get on it.
Why?
Get on it. Let's
Well,
get
let me
to
ask you
it.
this.
Get on it. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm curious to know, do you prefer to make resolutions or,
No.
what's your thing?
For whatever reason, the word resolution just doesn't sit well with me. I like goal
Okay.
setting goals. You know what I mean? It's probably the same thing. I probably need to look up the definition of resolution. I don't know. I don't know if it's the same as goal setting or not, but
I think yeah, maybe.
yeah, to me, just goal setting just sounds and feels better because you hear a lot of people say they're gonna, got a resolution to go to the gym or stop certain bad habits, and then by February they're back to where they were before. So I just stay away from the word resolution. Let's set my goals and what I'm trying to accomplish this year. So, what about you?
I feel the same.
Yeah.
You know what? As a kid, though, I used to make a lot of resolutions, and I don't know. I used to think that something magical would
Yeah.
happen.
Okay.
Yeah, I was that child. I had such a big imagination, but I really thought something magical would happen at midnight.
Right.
That somehow or another, my old self would pass away
Yeah.
and my new self would emerge, and all of the things that I had written on my list, I would magically have these new habits formed and these new
Yeah.
philosophies to live by, and it would just be so perfect and so easy because it was a new year, right? And after trying out resolutions and not really having any goals, any smart goals
Yeah.
attached to them, I was like, I ain't doing this no more.
Yeah.
I ain't doing this anymore. But then I also noticed that for me, anytime I want to start something, I just start.
I'm the same way. Same way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anyway, I don't want to step on you. Go
No,
ahead.
go ahead.
Finish. No,
Yeah,
I'm the
just
same
start.
way. It's like, you kind of, it always starts from within. So I think sometimes a lot of that language, like New Year's resolution, is kind of an external, I don't want to say pressure, but like an external. It's not, you may not personalize it. You know what I mean? Because I've started stuff, in mid-April. You know what I mean? Because I was inside, I was ready. I said, now I'm ready. So,
okay.
I didn't have a date set to it or whatever. It's just like, okay, I've been thinking about this. Okay, now I'm ready. So it can be April 23rd.
It
and
can
I'm
be a
going to start
Wednesday
it.
night.
Wednesday or
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon or whatever. So, yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah, and so I just start, but I do take inventory of my life and where I am, and I usually do it around my birthday birth month. I don't usually wait for the beginning or the end of the year. And then I also do blocks for myself. I think about like this year, But then I also think about a series like over the next 3 to 5 years.
Oh, okay.
This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
By this time, 10 years from now, I'm thinking that. So I don't really always think about it as far as, this is like New Year's is my time
Right.
to reinvent myself,
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that. And I was thinking about how we chose to do Vision Week this year because I think I mentioned it, that we get a chance to think about who we are, what we want, how we want to get there on our own,
Yeah.
right? Meaning, I know we're married, but you're still wholly you. Holy, Holly, come on,
Yeah.
and holy, WHOLLY.
Hey, there you go.
I like that.
Just came up with that, didn't
I
you?
did, actually.
Yeah.
I'm kind of proud of myself.
Yeah, pat yourself on the back.
But
Yeah.
in that, we're married and you still have individual ideas for yourself. And same with me.
Right.
And I always wanted to curate our marriage so that we both felt like we could show up and be 100% ourselves here,
Right.
And a lot, like I said, we don't wait until the new year to really start stuff, but there are times, around our anniversary or our birthdays or anything like that when we are thinking about, what's in the pipeline. And this time I was like, let's do it a little more formally. And let's just see where we are. And when you began to share some of the things on your vision board and we were talking about, how you were going to attack it, I got a chance to get a little more insight into how you approach a lot of other things, whereas sometimes for me, I might have my idea and I'm like, to the moon,
Yeah.
I thought it today. I figured it out. Take off.
Started today. Yeah.
Started today. I'm going. And so with you, sometimes you're like, this is what I want to do, and the start date on this isn't until a future date.
Yeah.
And then this is how I'm going to spread this out. Da da da. And I was like, that is how we are different. Because if it was anything else going on, I'm like, hey, this event just came up. You want to buy tickets today? And you're like, hold your horses.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, but it's today.
Right.
Yeah, you're like, we'll see.
Yeah.
You do take a moment.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just. That's just who I am, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I understand that feelings and passion or excitement level changes. So I guess I want to take a few moments to make sure this is something I really want to do or we really want to do. Because, you know how we are. Sometimes we see something like, yeah, let's do that. Let's go there. And then when they get close to the time, we be looking at each other like,
We still going?
you really want to do this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I just want to, excuse me. But I guess I just really want to make sure that that's it. We just really want to do it. The decision we make, we'll be able to stick to it.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't rush into things all the time.
Yeah. And one of my pet peeves is when someone says yes and behaves like a no.
Yeah.
Or they say no and then behave like a yes.
Yeah.
And in either one of those, I'm kind of like, what are you doing here?
What the heck is going on here?
What's going on here?
Yeah.
If you said no, I want you to stay out of it. But if you said yes and then you hanging out on the fringe, I need you to get in here and get it done, So that is one thing about you. Your yes is yes and your no is no.
Yeah, I've learned how to do that a little better, get a little older, but yeah. Yeah.
For sure. So we have an event tonight, actually, guys.
Did you check the email yet?
Somebody.
You haven't checked the email, did you? Okay.
Somebody decided about a week or so ago to go to an Aretha Franklin tribute concert tonight. And all day we're like, so we're going, right? We already bought the tickets and they're non-refundable, right? Oh, why do we do this to ourselves?
Yes.
It'll It'll be good, but this is one of those times
It's
where
what,
like
yeah. This
we
is
should have
real.
waited
This is
until
real
the day
time.
of
Yeah.
to buy these tickets because we
Or at
really
least wait
are.
till Thursday or Friday to see. You know what I mean? Like
I know.
this is real time, man. This is what I'm struggling with at this moment. You know, so like,
I know. Real life,
Lord Jesus,
real life situations. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
going back to what we were talking about with looking at over our vision board and finding
Mm-hmm.
out where we're aligned and where we aren't. Was there anything on my vision board that shocked you? Shock is probably too strong of a word. No.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember everything you had on there.
Okay.
Can you refresh my memory? Oh, well, never mind. I don't, you don't. Do
Oh,
you
okay.
wanna?
No,
Yeah, I
I
don't
was
want
just,
to
I was just,
put your business out there like that. But
yeah, I'll keep it between us for now.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious because I think one of the things that you had for yourself that was shock is not the right word. One of the things that you had on there that I was kind of like happy to see was that you're going to resume some lessons. You know,
yeah,
that you're going to pick a hobby back up that you really enjoy. So I'm really like,
That's probably
that's so cool, and I cannot wait to see
I
that
know,
come
I know.
to
Still
fruition.
I'm still trying to work it out the timing and all that stuff as far as like how I'm gonna implement it. But that's probably the most excited I am as far as the goals I set. Yeah, that's the one. That's like
Yeah.
number one. You
I
know
like
what I mean?
that.
So yeah.
Yeah. We'll be Lucy and Linus again.
There you go.
Yeah, because I do enjoy watching you
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
What else? What I'm curious though, thinking of, did I see? I'm trying to think about our board, and did I see anything where we were so far away from each other? And I know our boards were different,
Yeah.
but I didn't think we were so far out of alignment.
No.
And I think there were some things where it actually kind of tied in how we were going to use things. Like you might have had a savings goal on yours, but I had a spending goal on mine.
Yeah.
And it all came down to money management,
Yeah.
So we were able to talk about that
Right.
and see, okay, how can we both win-win in this situation? And we, have a plan around that. So I like that though,
Yeah.
Part of why I wanted to bring this up on this podcast is because we received teaching from the Christian faith. And if you are part of that and you use the Bible as your standard or guide for living or marriage or whatnot, we were given that as well. And I remember there was a specific teaching around marriage and two becoming one. And they would put the period right there. Two become one. Boom, hard stop. And it was frustrating the grace on our life, our life at times. And I noticed that it frustrates the grace on other people's life too, because they're like, we're married. How are we supposed to merge and become one? And I still have my own individual goals and ideas and plans and aspirations and things like that that you're not necessarily on board with. So how do we merge? How do we, how do we agree to disagree?
Yeah.
How do we allot resources for these things? And then somebody, pulls out the big S word and say, well, then you the one that need to submit.
Oh, see, you trying to go back there.
Okay,
But
I ain't
anyway,
going
go
back.
ahead. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
season one stuff. I'm back. I'm in season
We in
two.
season 2, yeah.
But I'm saying that phrase, that teaching is out of context, number one, but it can frustrate the grace. And go ahead.
Because I was about to say I think a lot of people would take that as you have to do everything the same together all the time. You know what I mean? That's basically what you're alluding to right now. Which, that will frustrate the grace on everybody's lives because no, it's I'm a sports fan. You're not. Like I'm not. You know what I'm saying?
I am this week.
Yeah, this week and next week. Yeah. Give me some. But to try to either force you into that world or you try to pull me away, oh, boy, that's almost cause for divorce, almost. You know what I mean? Because that would be very, very frustrating. So I think I don't know, maybe just needs to be explained better, or we always got to do our own research and study. But, that I think that's an inaccurate interpretation of that scripture. Like we're not going to do everything together all the time the same way. That's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I'm
Yeah.
agreeing with you. That does frustrate a lot of people. Excuse me.
And one of the things that I'll put a button on that in its entirety. The scripture goes beyond the two become one. It's the two become one flesh. Period. And we're referencing Genesis for our Bible scholars. But in context of that, it's actually talking about sex and procreation. So it's not talking about getting married and getting this crazy philosophical idea that we're going to behave like conjoined twins.
Yeah.
And that, your thoughts are my thoughts. I remember being in places and they were teaching this stuff. Your thoughts are my thoughts.
Really?
My thoughts are your thoughts.
Yeah.
We make decisions on everything the same way together. It's always us. We move and step in with all this stuff. And I'm like,
and that can't be achieved when the communication, when we're able to talk about and plan together. So that can be, I guess, achieved. But I think you're saying something
situationally.
Yeah.
It can be achieved situationally, but also this idea that you have to lose your identity as an individual when you become married is not something that either of us subscribe to. And again, we've been married over 20 years and we have had to debunk a lot of teachings and other things. We've had to tailor some things to make more sense when in our lives and for us and things like that. So that's just one of those things that, we don't feel that way, that although we are together, we align our lives where we can, and then we give each other space and freedom to move how you want to move within reason.
Right.
You're not just out here
you ain't gonna be
acting
out
like
here.
single Jim.
Yeah,
You're
right.
individual Jim. You're not single Jim.
Right.
And so we move and operate differently as a married couple, but also it doesn't mean that we stifle each other,
Within reason.
Within reason,
If you tell me you want to go out here and spend $500 a week on something, I'm like, that's not gonna happen. Whatever,
My heart started beating fast. I said, wait a minute. You trying to talk about my Beyonce Renaissance tickets?
Yeah, right.
Where's this number of 500? Where are you going with
It's
this,
more
sir?
than that now.
Listen, oh my gosh.
But it's all within reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey there, are you enjoying the conversation as much as we are? Then let us know. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We're here every other Thursday with a brand new episode, and you do not want to miss it. Okay, all right, back to the conversation.
I remember this story of a newlywed couple. One of my clients, she got married, and this is years ago. And I remember she was over the age of 40 in her marriage, so over 40. And her and her husband, they move in together after being married. And she enjoyed drinking Dr. Pepper.
Okay.
And she would buy a case of Dr. Pepper and, have it in the fridge. So she knows she's the only one in the house that drinks it. So if she takes one, she knows she got 11 left in the case, right? So forth and so on. Well, her new husband came home or is living there, whatnot, and he wanted something to drink. And he enjoyed one of her Dr. Pepper cans, right? And we were discussing this in the salon one day because she was furious. And she was mad because she was like, I want to be a good wife. And I know that what's mine is his and what's his is mine and things of that nature. But I really don't want him drinking my Dr. Pepper. If I buy my Dr. Pepper, it is mine, that kind of stuff, right? And I remember talking to her saying, it's okay to say, do not drink my Dr. Pepper.
Right.
And
You know what I'm thinking about, right?
No.
Do you wanna talk about the enchilada?
Oh God, why do you want to?
Similar. You want to go? We can go there if you don't mind. So, similar story for us. Robin made these delicious enchiladas for dinner one night,
Okay.
and we had leftovers. So she had, I think you probably had you had half of an enchilada left. So one morning I woke up, I was hungry. I ate the enchilada.
You did.
Went to work, up there doing my thing, got a phone call from Robin over here. It's like, did you eat my enchilada? I was like, yeah, I was hungry. And long story short, I never ate her enchilada again. That's the bottom line.
Thank you for making that very long story short.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add a little more color to it. I was going off.
Yes, she was. Mm-hmm. I was trying to save you from.
Did. I gotta let people know. We are in this 20 years plus, right?
Right.
We know a thing or two about a thing or two. We really do. I called you on your job to go smooth off about food.
Yeah.
It's more than food. It was a boundary. It was
right. You were hungry. Just like I was hungry.
I wanted it.
I was like, man, that's a good enchilada. I'm going to snag
and you
this
helped yourself
mofo.
to it, right? But the fact of the matter that I was going off so tough, you said, Robin, I am at work. I am not talking about this right now or something. I think you hung up on me.
Yeah, I did. I did.
And what did I do?
You called back and left a voicemail.
Wait a minute. I just watched Tokyo Tony. She left that voicemail for Tasha K. When I see you, I'm going to, what she say, grab you by your neck, throw you down, and stomp on you. Like, Tokyo Tony is a whole and entire fool. But anyway.
I don't even know why I was told it.
Why did you do this?
You brought up your client and the Dr. Pepper, and it just made me, I had memory. I got memories.
You do? Yeah. Okay, fine. The thing of the matter is, though, I had to let her know it is okay to still have certain things in your marriage, in your house, in your fridge that is still just yours.
Yeah.
And you can have that conversation like, these are mine. If you would like to start drinking Dr. Pepper, because I think she had a similar reaction. She was kind of like, now we went to the store and we picked out what we wanted and you drank all your apple juice. No, I'm kidding. Whatever it was, you had all of yours, and then when you ran out, you just helped yourself to mine.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. So, I said, it's okay to have that conversation. And it's okay to put that out there and say, ask me first.
Yeah.
Just because you're married doesn't mean you got carte blanche access to anything, everything, all the time, no matter what, within reason.
Yeah, because
there are some things about you full access all the time.
Right. And if we keep it on, just like food, you'd be...
Listen. It's mine. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to rub it. I'm going to...
Right, yeah. But we keep it on food. I know that we keep it on food. Because I get stuff that you be like, I don't even like that. Ugh, that's nasty. And then look around and you taking a bite out of my brownie or whatever it is. You don't even like it.
I do. I'm like, I don't even like these chicken wings. Let me taste it. And I'll leave it in there. I'll leave the half-eaten bone in there for you.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I saved you some. I just had a bite.
Got a lot of nerve.
I know.
Missy.
You know what? So, it made me think about something else that she brought up about their new marriage and the challenges they were having becoming one, right? So something else she mentioned was about their bedtimes. They have of course, different sleep preferences. And I remember that she would go to bed at a certain time and he might have been more of a night owl. And she was like, he doesn't come to bed when I go to bed. And we're married. We're supposed to go to bed at the same time, right? And I was like,
Please.
no, not necessarily. You know, you still, again, you can still decide. You know, do you want him to just tuck you in at night? Do you want him to just, you know, go to bed with you and watch TV while you're sleeping? Kind of, you guys can figure that out. You can tailor it, right? And I mentioned her age because I wasn't making a moot point. I mentioned it because people of a certain age, you know, you would assume they have the enough life experience and skill set to be able to figure this stuff out on their own, right? But because of certain doctrines that they're given about marriage, some of these very small types of decisions are weighed down with, you know, am I doing marriage right? You know, if we don't sleep together at the same time, am I doing marriage right if I don't want to share my Dr. Pepper? Things like that. And it's like, in the grand scheme of things, your marriage is not in trouble if you guys have decided how to navigate merging and sharing your life and your home together that works for you. Right. You know, so it's just interesting how unfortunately some of the teaching around that concept of becoming one meant becoming one person together. And if you know,
it's just unrealistic. That's all. It's just unrealistic. And I mean, I really can't say much. You know, I agree with what you're saying. It just makes it when it's taught that way and you understand it to be that way, that, you know, we become one and we do everything together. That's a
tall ask.
Yeah, it's a tall ask, and it's a hard thing to break away from. I don't know if you and I don't were we like that? But did we have those conversations to where we were like, we got to do everything together? I don't think so. Like that's not the way we understood that scripture.
No, I remember people were trying to force that upon me too, and I was like, no. Wait, like from the movie Get Out. No. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
And I guess and again, we didn't have any models for us to tell us how to do it either way. I think we knew something in us knew very early on that we were going to carve out our own path.
Yeah.
And this was one of the ways. And then also circumstances. Our work schedules forced us to tailor a lot of our activities too, you know?
But still, even from a selfish standpoint for both of us, like, we enjoy our alone time at times, you know what I mean? So I'm sure there's times where, you know, you were happy, not, you know, quote unquote happy that I was out of the house or out of your hair, because you don't feel like being a circus monkey, or you don't feel like entertaining or anything like that. And the same for me. It's like, okay, I got the house to myself. It's quiet. I'm good. You know what I mean? So it's fine. I don't need to go to the hair, you know, when you get your hair done, I don't need to go there and sit there and just be around.
Oh my gosh. I hated that.
Some people
like that, but I actually was kind of like, do not bring your significant other to the salon to just be hanging out. Like,
some people literally did that. Like,
I know. And I'm saying, as a former stylist and salon owner, I was like, why are they here? It makes some of the other people uncomfortable. Anyway, that's a whole conversation for a different day. But anyway, going back to us, I really, in my whole heart, wanted to make sure you were yourself in this marriage, because I knew I wanted to be myself.
Right.
And I also, I really love you and like you so much that I wanted to make sure that you are living your absolute best life in this marriage. You know,
Right.
whatever that looks like for you, I would ask you, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? What do you want to be? What's your vision for our marriage? You know, I would always want to have those conversations because I would say this to you so often. I do not want you to wake up at 40 and wonder, where did my life go?
Right.
I don't want to wake up at 50, 60, 70, 90 plus. Where did my life go? I didn't get a chance to do anything I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I noticed that there were a lot of grumpy people in marriage. And one of the reasons was because they were not living their true, authentic selves.
And somebody was eating somebody's enchilada.
People were drinking Dr. Peppers and
Yeah.
eating enchiladas, you know, ad nauseum.
Yeah.
So I knew that for sure. And you know what? Well, I'm going to park it here because I want to hear from you. Like, did you have that intention?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I've always wanted you to be yourself. So that's why you don't have any problem communicating things that you want or like or want to do. And I can't remember a time that without a valid reason, that I stood in the way of you, you know, doing whatever, your pivots, you know what I mean? Your, I don't know, recreation, you know what I mean? I really don't remember. I'm sure there were times, but, you know, I've always wanted you to be happy because I don't want a disgruntled wife. You know what I mean? So again, it's everything we talk about, everything is within reason. So if it was reasonable, I mean, I'm not going to stand in your way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you know, there's, yeah.
Yeah, I was actually trying to think about when was a time that you became either a roadblock or a stumbling block. And honestly, I cannot think off the top of my head at any point when that happened. And what the best way to describe our dynamic is, I always say I'm a red balloon and you're the person
Holding the balloon.
holding the string. So you are very stable, steady, you know, you're there. You're very sure of who you are, what you want to be, how you want to do it. You can sit in that.
Yeah.
Me, I like change and excitement, and I like being dynamic
Right.
and whatnot, right? So as the red balloon, I'm a bob around a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm going to enjoy myself. And sometimes you might, you know,
Right.
tug on the string a little bit, and you're not tugging on the string so that I can't do anything. You're tugging on the string kind of like, okay, let's I don't want you to fly away and
Right. Not
get lost
there.
in the clouds a little, you know.
Put back on this or whatever. Yeah.
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 So but yeah. So I still like that very much
Yeah.
for us because you get to enjoy the balloon.
Yeah.
And
No, it's benefits to
I
that.
get to enjoy, you know,
Just stability.
the stability to be as free and outgoing as I can.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I thought about a couple recently divorced, a celebrity couple, announced their divorce. Tia and Corey Hardick.
I don't know.
Is that their last name? Hardick?
Yeah.
Anyway, they were married, I think, over 10 years, maybe 12
Yeah.
even. I remember watching them on the TV series
Black love.
Black Love.
Yeah.
But even before that, Tia and her sister Tamara had a reality show. And at the time, Tia was married and she had her son, and she, you know, their relationship, you know, was on the reality show. And they were so cute. And then you fast forward, you see them on Black Love. You see them on their socials doing their thing, kinda. And so the divorce announcement was shocking, surprising, you know. But what was interesting about that was she went on a divorce tour, a PR tour. It felt very odd to
Forced.
me. Oh, you like forced? Okay.
I don't know. I mean, you probably want me to explain.
Well, you can.
When I say forced, well, I don't know. I felt like she was just what was it, protesting too greatly, so to
Yeah,
speak. You know what I mean? Like
protesting
she's
her.
trying to really prove her case. And we can leave it there.
Okay.
If you're happy.
I'll leave it there because we do not know enough about
Right,
this couple
right.
to really make a judgment call. But I can tell you what my initial feeling was. I smelled a rat.
Yeah.
And I thought it was odd because I really don't know anybody who goes through divorce and is skipping around with glee.
You're right.
You know,
Even if it's a bad situation, it's kind of. I think a lot of people still grieve the demise of the relationship.
Yeah, and even though I went through a divorce, I still wasn't skipping to my loo like woohoo, whatever. You know, it was more so like, okay, I still need to recalibrate. I still need to, you know, keep going. It wasn't a sad occasion, but it also wasn't the most joyous occasion where I wanted to go on a speaking tour. It was odd behavior for me. And then I was listening to what she had to say, and it was very scripted. She was saying the same thing in all of her interviews, which again made it kind of odd. Like, what are you actually saying?
Yeah.
You know, we know what your script says, but what is behind this? So for me, I smelled a rat. But what she said is really the point of this. She was saying, someone asked her, I think it was Hoda Kotb who asked her, how did you know it was time to divorce? And she said, in so many words, she started to focus on her own happiness and self-love. And once she realized what was making her happy and what wasn't, she knew it was time to divorce her husband. And now she's
out there.
She's just out there having a wonderful time gallivanting around the city square on her Instas and everything else. And she looks very happy with her decision.
Yeah.
So fine. The point of the matter is she's not the only one who states when they get divorced that I felt like I couldn't be my true self in my marriage. So I had to break out of this thing and go and live the life that I really wanted to live. And that always, I would say, maybe scared me. And so that would probably be that type of thinking and seeing people disgruntled and grumpy in their marriages and living separate lives. And by separate meaning a secret life, you know, creating other families on the other side of town. And, they were just a totally different person outside of their marriage that the spouse didn't know about.
Yeah.
That's a whole other thing. But for so many people to be unhappy and you ask them why and they say, I just feel like I can't be myself. I was like,
yeah, we don't
that
want
won't be
that.
us.
Yeah.
That absolutely will not be us. So being able to see where we are individually and to see how we can collaborate and support each other, how we're going to share resources, how we're going to allocate, time or whatnot to each other's thing. That is a collaborative effort.
Yeah.
Collaborative and mutually beneficial.
I agree.
Yeah.
And it's just that's the quote unquote work part of marriage, if you ask me.
Oh.
Just something that just popped in my head, because when you talk about how'd you say collaborate with time, resource, and all that stuff, that's those you have to have communication about that stuff, and it's not always gonna go your way or my way. You know what I mean? It's gonna be some give and take, and sometimes you know how it feels. Sometimes you just don't want to give, but you end up doing it. You know what I mean? Because it's for the best. I need to give in on this. It's for the best. So, but yeah, I agree.
Speaking of alignment and misalignment, y'all know we talked about watching The Best Man, the final chapters last year, and we are going to devote an entire episode to it. Maybe the next episode, I don't know. But we went back and tried to watch it again. We made it through like the first, 4 or 5 episodes. But even watching the final chapters, we watched The Best Man, The Best Man Holiday, and the final chapters. We wanted to see the whole story again. I'm going to reserve some of my comments for when we do a full episode. But one of the couples that should have never, ever, ever, ever hooked up, married, whatever, Robin and Harper. I wish they never even met each other.
Yeah.
The amount
That's
of
wrong. You feel
frustration of the grace on each other's lives, they were so misaligned from jump. You see it from the beginning, and you see that needle being thread all the way up until the final chapters. And when I initially was watching, I was like, who is the problem here? And both of them at times for different reasons. But going back to what we're talking about today, aligning and merging lives and so forth and so on. I feel like Harper was so selfish and so self-centered in pursuit of his goals that he neglected to show up and support Robin in hers. And what happened as a result of that led to the demise of their marriage, because of his selfish ways and foolery and shenanigans and whatnot. It ultimately led to the demise of their relationship. And it caused Robin to behave in such, to me, seemed so out of character for her to make this final decision to move to Africa and take the baby.
She left the country.
Yeah. And I'm like, girl, why did you do it this way? And after watching it again, I see that when you're dealing with adults and you're trying to force some other adult to conform, or you're trying to harness and constrain them in a way where they feel like they cannot be themselves, the way that they will revolt and rebel, listen, that's all Robin did. She felt free, and she said, I don't give a good goddamn how you feel about this, Harper.
Yeah.
Because I've been caring about how you feel for so long. Oh, well, deal with it.
Yeah.
And I've seen real life couples deal with these types of aggressive disputes. It's the same thing. It's just not on that same scale.
Yeah.
But these power struggles of who's going to get the resources, who's going to get the support, it just creates so many problems.
Yeah. You kind of went in a little bit.
On Harper? I did
no,
not.
just not Harper or Robin. I'm just you said a lot. You said a lot.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
They are top of mind because we just watched them.
You get
Sorry,
fired
guys.
up. You get fired up. But we're gonna talk about that more in future episodes. We're gonna talk about that more.
It made me think about it because yeah.
I know.
Next episode ish.
Yeah.
Perhaps. But one thing I did like about watching that was we get to see their past self, their current self, and even a glimpse into their future selves, right? Watching that. And that is so cool because you get to have that type of 2020 vision. Right? So we started this off talking about New Year, New You, or New Year Who Dis, right?
Yeah, New Year Who
and
Dis.
and how people plan for their future selves. And I'm curious to know, since we got a chance to watch the Best Man.
Best Man.
So this is a whole bunch of them now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh well, I guess
The
yeah.
cast. We got to see all of their stories.
Yeah.
We're following their character arcs. Ooh, I'll save that question for another episode because I was going to ask, who do you think evolved the most or not at all? Whatever. But let's talk about us.
Okay. Let's do it.
What do you think your past self would be surprised to know about your current self? And by surprised,
Happy?
it can be
Could it be happy?
It can be light. It can be heavy. Any or both.
I think the first thing I think about is this year or starting last year, I started a fitness goal and a nutrition, change my diet and whatnot. I think my past self will be very impressed with my current present self.
Yeah.
Because I've started exercise routines or trying to eat better in the past and wasn't able to stick with it for whatever reason. This time I have been real consistent with my workout and eating better and all that stuff. So yeah, I think my old 35-year-old self might be like, you doing it, huh?
Yeah, look at you.
So I say that
Very
my
good.
fitness goals. What about you?
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna go with. And are we just picking one?
No, we could do another one because I want to do one. I want to answer that question as it relates to marriage as well.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh, good. Okay.
if
Well,
you
go
need time
ahead.
to think.
Yeah, I need time to think.
As
Go
far
ahead.
I'm sorry to throw this curveball at you, but as far as since it's a love affair podcast, marriage, I feel like my former self would be proud and happy how this current self behaves in conflict, or
Okay.
how I have evolved into, being a better communicating through conflict. And I was thinking about this earlier. I don't. I know I told you before. Like I always say I don't like conflict. I don't like conflict. I'm not afraid of conflict. I don't fear conflict.
Okay.
What my problem is like when there's a breach, like if somebody, you or like in context of marriage or just relationship, if somebody breaches something or does something I don't like, and I know it needs to be a conversation, that means if I feel like if I'm telling myself, okay, I got to have a conversation with this person, that means I'm kind of pissed off and angry.
Okay.
So the issue I had was controlling my emotions. Controlling my emotions, when I know I need to have a conversation, because I don't want to sit there and argue or fight. Now I don't want to fight. You know what I mean? So sometimes when you know how it is when you're emotional or you're upset, your heart starts beating fast. You got all the adrenaline going, and it's fight, flight, or freeze. So I think that part is what causes me or calls me to, maybe shut down during the conflict. You know what I mean? Because I didn't know how to manage that. So
Okay. That's I
yeah. So
understand
I'm learning how to. I think my former self would be proud of how I'm managing my emotions.
that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the problem I run into with that, I could be upset about something, and I'm trying to make sure I calm down so I don't fly off the handle. But then after I calm down, it may take a while, and the situation may have changed or the breach that hadn't happened again. So it's kind of like, oh, we're just sweeping that under the rug. In a sense, you get what I'm saying? Like after I calm down, like I don't have that desire. Maybe I just don't have the desire to have that conversation because I'm not pissed off anymore.
Oh, so you
So I'm
feel
saying
like you're rehashing it at this point,
yeah, I feel like I'm rehashing
even though it hadn't been hashed at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the problem I run into, because it's like, and then like with us, it's been times I've been, you might have said or did something 3 months ago, and then we having a discussion 3 months later, and then I remember what you said that time. So it's like, yeah, you did this, and I didn't say anything. So that's what I'm working through right now. But I think my former self will be pretty pleased with, how better I got at in conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh, that's a good one.
your turn.
Okay. I like them both. Okay, I think my past self would be impressed with how I have set boundaries.
Yeah.
And I have, become very clear about the types of relationships that I will entertain, and be very proud of the relationships that I ended. And I think my past self would also be kind of shocked. It would
Yeah.
I would be impressed and also shocked, like, wow, okay,
I think sometimes
you made some changes.
Sometimes you shock yourself even presently. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that
Yeah.
personally, they would be very proud of that. And as it pertains to marriage, ooh, you had such a good one related to conflict, but I think I'll stay in the communication wheelhouse. I think that my past self would be very proud and pleased to know that I have learned to listen for understanding
Yeah. Yeah.
instead of listening to respond.
Yeah.
And
I would agree.
and being more open and receptive to hearing your perspective on a situation that I feel is I'm absolutely right about. Yeah, my past self would be impressed to know that I have humbled myself and and got some act right about me,
Yeah. Cause
when it comes to listening.
Because when you know
Listening
you're
to
right,
understand.
when you know how you was before, when you know you're right, or when you feel like you're right, or you were right,
Yeah.
ain't nothing I can do or say that's gonna change.
No.
That's all right
So,
though.
what would you like your future self to think about your present self?
Probably say that. Ask it one more time.
Yeah.
What would I like my future self to think about my current self?
Yeah. Like, in what ways do you want your future self to be proud or impressed or surprised or any other adjective?
That I continually tried to get better, and I'm still talking about conflict, how can I say communication conflict or conflict communication?
Well, they're two different
They're
things,
two different
but they
things, but
can.
communication during conflict.
Okay.
I still want to get better at that.
Yeah.
So, I want to, try to read up on some things and just try to, because I want to have the right language
Okay.
or better language going forward. So you're better able to understand what I'm getting at or what I'm feeling at the time, and then that just branches off into even other areas, whether it's, family, friends, work, you know what I mean? So remember I talked about when I get pissed off, all the emotions or whatnot. If I have the right language, even if I'm feeling that, if I got the right language and the right tone and the right way to say things, I think I can kind of in that moment be able to squash a conflict. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm looking for. Because a lot of times it's my issue is that I don't have the right words or the right language or the right phrasing in my mind at the time to do it because I'm so ready to fight. You know what I mean? So that's
Ooh,
me.
I like this.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. So I like that answer because that doesn't just pertain to marriage. You said you want to work on that for all of your relationships.
Right.
I support you.
All right. I knew you would.
I would like for my future self to look at my current self and be very, very proud to see how I was able to move from being hurt by some of those relationships and things that I had to put boundaries around, that I moved from being hurt to being healed to helping others, navigate through those difficult spaces, So I think I'm very much on my way.
I was just going to say that you're well on your way.
Yeah, and I would like my future self to look back in gratitude for that whole experience, and that is a nod and a wink. I can't wink, but am I winking? A nod and a wink.
Sure.
If I can get it out.
You
to my dear friend Marva Darling. We had happy hour a couple weeks ago, and she shared something so lovely with me about radical gratitude and how she can look over everything through the lens of gratitude. And I said, "Ooh, I'm not there yet."
Yeah.
But with her wisdom and her encouragement and the way she explained it, I said, "Ooh, okay, now I can see how that's doable," because there are still some things I look back on and I'm like, I'm supposed to be grateful for that.
Please.
How? When? To who? No, but I'm so grateful for that, that she dropped that little nugget in my life, and I think my future self would appreciate if I was able to do that.
Yeah. I've seen you, I've probably seen you, but I definitely, through our communications, can hear that you're well on your way.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? As far as, especially with helping others. Yeah, you're well on your way.
For sure. We're doing it, my baby.
Yep.
So that's, I don't know if that's going to be for marriage and or just overall. I know you kind of categorized it, but what's something light? Let's end on a lighter, airy note. If you have anything fun. Like I was thinking, like you went deep into the well, and I was kind of like,
once you go deep into the well, you can't come back out and try to be all light and stuff. You can't just turn the switch like that. I can't.
Okay, yeah, you in the deep waters, my baby. You took me with you, but that's okay. It's okay. I was actually going to say that my my past self would probably be shocked to know that I understand football now. And
boom, all my work is finally paying off. All that teaching I've been getting.
That I can finally understand and watch a whole quarter of football and understand 90% of what just happened.
Nice.
That's all the time we have for today, but we're definitely continuing the conversation in the next episode. You don't want to miss it. Before you go, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, rate, follow, do all of those things that will let us know you enjoyed the conversation and that you support us. That would really encourage us to keep going. So until next time, thank you so much for listening and take care.